Hello, everybody. How you doing? I curse way too much, by the way, so I apologize in advance for this type of stuff. But how many of you have been to AlleyNYC? Everybody been? Cool. How many of you haven't? Cool. So we're a co-working space in Midtown. We started about a year ago. We have about 16,000 square feet. And we help companies at a very early stage grow up. We provide amenities to help their businesses grow. And anything we can think of to make it fun in the process. Most people that work at our space don't really accept the fun. We try to enter awesome things in, but it gets annoying because most people that come to Midtown to run their businesses are a little bit more serious than the companies that work out of like a different type of area in New York. So we get like a different type of startup. We get a startup that is kind of like a true hustle, somebody that really is grinding to get their businesses off the ground, and we try to help them as much as possible. We started the company a year ago, and frankly speaking, I had no idea what I was getting into when we first started the business. We looked at co-working as a really cool business model where we can get involved with early stage companies and live with them and potentially invest in them. But I had no idea what an impact it would make on my life personally. I have a background in real estate marketing and lead generation, and I dealt with like the worst people in the world. I made a ton of money, but I really hated it. I spent it like I hated it. I drove a fancy car, I had a beautiful apartment, I went to awesome restaurants, but at the end of the day, I felt like no sense of purpose. So the reason why I tell you this is because, like an aha moment to me was like a personal thing. It was more like what I wanted to do with myself, how like I wanted my life to play itself out, how my life is gonna affect the world in a positive way. And I found it, in my space. I work with the most brilliant people in New York City every day, and they take my advice. I've been self-employed since I was 17 years old. I pretty much lived my life for the dollar since then, and it's been a very awesome transition to not think about money so much. I talk about that when I tell everybody my story, but it's just been an amazing journey so far in the past year to work with all these amazing people, and it's given me so much purpose in my life, which I then transcend to awesome stuff and shit, because I told you I was going to curse, into the co-working environment that we created. So I think that all co-working spaces are awesome. I don't think that there's one in particular that's better than the other. I just think it's a difference in environment and communities that you build. And I think that every space out there, I've heard awesome things about Projective and all these other incubators, even what GA did to establish their presence in this type of environment is absolutely amazing. And we just want to build off that. So aha moment is basically me understanding and wanting a bigger sense of purpose, and I found that in helping people and helping them with their businesses, giving them my past knowledge in grooming businesses and dealing with marketing and growth hacking and all the things it takes to be a successful business, and providing awesome shit for people to do and stuff like that. So that's my story. But AlleyNYC, everyone is invited to come. We have awesome events all the time. We have some of the biggest and best hackathons in New York City. We just had Keith Harrington from Shark Tank last night. We try to use the space like Jason Saltzman calling up, David Tisch is not going to get anywhere. But AlleyNYC, with a community behind them, can call up somebody like David Tisch and get them to speak at our space, and you get to meet them and hang out with them. So join our event list and come and hang out with us, and hopefully you can see awesome people the way I've seen them, and maybe you'll come work with us one day. So that's about it.
Awesome. So what we're doing now is we do 5 minutes of Q&A. If anyone has any questions, I think that was a great talk, a personal moment. That is something I've noticed as an entrepreneur, how lonely and personal it can be, and so that's really a powerful story. Does anyone have any questions? I will step into the audience. Any questions?
One question. Come on.
Yes.
When you opened, did you think there was something missing with the co-working spaces that exist already in New York? And I guess, did that lead you to Midtown specifically?
That's a great question. And Absolutely. The answer is yes. We saw, nobody thinks of like this area as cool. I don't like walking through Midtown. It's a sport to get to the office, right? I ride a bike and I hate going through 7th Avenue. But it's such a huge transportation hub, and there's so many big businesses that are around here. So if you're an entrepreneur that's working on, let's say, a B2B platform, you can take 20 meetings a day. So I didn't see that in the direct environment. And when we first started, we started a year ago, but the lease took a year to negotiate, So it's a 2-year progress. And when we first started, there was nothing like what we were doing in Midtown. So yes, we saw an opening in that area, in that environment, to bring entrepreneurs a place that's so responsible to work at, as far as the way I see it. And also, I just like to say something, because a lot of people think like everybody talks negatively about like the bridge and tunnel crowd, the bridge and tunnel, to Long Island, I'm from Long Island. I don't know if you heard it in my accent, but there are awesome entrepreneurs from Long Island. There are awesome entrepreneurs from New Jersey that want to come into the city, but don't want a 5-fucking-hour commute, So I knew opening up a co-working space as an entrepreneurial hub in Midtown that's so centrally located was going to be a hit. And we have a huge waiting list. We have amazing people that come to the space every day. So it was lucky, and it was also kind of pretty smart. I don't want to toot my own horn or anything. Pretty fucking awesome.
So, one more. Time for one more question. Here we go. I have another mic now.
This is going to be a tough one. Owner of Projective Space, ladies and gentlemen.
What do you see as the biggest challenges as you've been growing the business?
So, in any type of community, you're going to have a lot of issues, right? Just think of like a village. You're growing a village. There are people that you have to worry about, much like a cancer, right? So our biggest challenge has been vetting the right people to come into the space. I would say you have to be very aware of that. The fact is that it's a community, and we really do not want passive people in the space. So when we interview people, we don't look at how much money you make. We don't look at, pretty much don't look at your business model. We look at how the space can potentially help you as a business, and what type of person you are to get back to the space. Are you going to communicate with people? Are you going to add something? Are you going to add value to their lives? So that's the biggest challenge, because those people are not. There's 9 million douchebags out there, So it's navigating the waters of douchebagginess, So that's been the biggest challenge. But we've done a really good job, because I have the most amazing chief operating officer, NC, and he just doesn't deal with shit. I'm do whatever you want, I'm afraid of him, So that's the big challenge, getting the right people together.